Welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Why Choose TBR. This is a really exciting video because I am doing this video in collaboration with Victoria, and I'll have her channel linked down below. And I'm a huge fan of her. She's a wonderful romance booktuber, and she reads a lot of YA Choose romances, and so do I. It's one of my favorite subgenres of romance. So we decided to just go ahead and get together and put this list together of our TBR books for all the books that we want to read that are YA Choose romances. And I have 12 books here, and I just cannot wait to share them with you. Some of these romances are like polyamorous, some are not, some involve males having relationships with other males within this group while also having a relationship with the main female. Some it's just basically the females in a separate relationship with each male, and none of the males are intertwined with each other. Before we get into this, I want to make sure that you have subscribed if you haven't already. Clicked the like button. If you want to follow me on social media, all of my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Like I said before, I also have Victoria linked down below so that you can go check out her video for her Why Choose TBR, as well as subscribe to her channel. If you are a romance girly who likes Why Choose romances, definitely don't miss out on subscribing to Victoria because she has a wonderful channel. These books are in no particular order. Mixed in will be some sequels that I want to get to, and just basically these are in no particular order. So the first book I have here is Trickery by Jamin Eve. This book I believe is inspired by Greek or Roman mythology. I'm not sure which. But we basically have our main character who is sold into servitude to work under these god-like beings. They're almost like gods, and they are arrogant, super perfect, and she is sent to basically work for them. And how she does determines whether or not she's going to be unalived, or what she says is, in the synopsis, is ruined. I think there are 5 males in this, and then obviously our main character as well, our heroine. It has been on my TBR for a long time because it's always been listed as like one of the higher rated YA Choose novels, and I just want to get to it. I think that this is fairly popular with a 4.17 average rating, and that's with over 35,000 ratings on Goodreads. It's fairly popular, and I really want to get to it. So the next book I have here is Some Kind of Monster by Albany Walker. This is the sequel to Friends with Monsters, which I loved. I believe that that was actually my first, or one of my first, YA Choose books I ever read. And honestly, it still sticks in my mind as one of the best. And I don't know why I haven't read the second book. This is a duet, so there's just 2 books in here until I get the HEA. And it's really good. Our main character is like, she herself is a monster. She's very dangerous. She doesn't have a lot of friends. And she ends up meeting 3 different guys. There's like a shifter. There is this like Grim Reaper type of guy. And there's also a berserker. This is like a monster romance. And I really, 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 really adored it. The first book is really cool. The first book doesn't end in a cliffhanger, but there is kind of something left hanging a little bit where, like, you know that stuff's going to kind of come back in the second book. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that plot line, but also looking forward to just getting back with these relationships. I thought that she had really unique individual relationships with each guy in this book. I also liked the paranormal aspects. There was like witches in this book too, which I really liked. This was a great book, and I really, really cannot wait to read its sequel. So the next I have here is Nightfall by Anne Denton. I've had this book on my radar for a while because the cover is really beautiful, and I think this is gonna have a lot of like political intrigue, like royalty and politics kind of intertwining. This is also a fae YA Choose romance, and I love fae romances in general, but this also sounds like it's gonna have like a lot of risk and intrigue and adventure, because the synopsis starts out saying, if you want to get to my sister, you're going to have to go through me first. So I think there's going to be a lot of adventure and scheming, and I'm here for it. Like I said, the cover is absolutely stunning, and that's like, it's a total cover kind of like TBR pick for me, and it has been for a while because yeah, I just thought that this cover is absolutely gorgeous. The next I have on this list is the first of 2 Merry Mysteries that I have on this list because if you guys have been following me for a while, you know Mary Mystery is one of my favorite Why Choose romance writers. And this is Beyond the Fairy Gate, and it's the only series I have not started by her. And I really cannot wait to get to it because this is a fae romance series. And I think that there's going to be like 6 books in this series. I did an interview with Mary Mystery. I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. And she said that there's going to be probably 6 books in this series, and that it's been like the funnest for her to write. She's included a lot of fae lore from around the world, and I love books like that that really incorporate like fae lore from all over. Those tend to really grip me, whether they are romance or fantasy books or Why Choose romance books or whatever they are. If they include fae lore from around the world and really dig deep into that fae like mythology, I get super hooked. And so I'm really looking forward to this. I think that this is a super slow burn though, so we'll see. And I love the covers for this series. Next to Pirate Witch, The Deadwood Chronicles, I think that this would be like my favorite set of covers by Mary Mystery. Not that she made them, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I know I love Mary Mystery's writing style. She's gotten quite polished. She is really like honing in on her writing skills, and she's in a good place, and I cannot wait to get to this series. Okay, so next I have Omega Sanctuary by Mira Kane. This cover had me. It's giving me like Mediterranean kind of vibes. I think that this is going to be really ethereal just based on the cover. But it has been on my radar for a while because I really do want to try more Omegaverse. I did read Baby and the Late Night Howlers. I liked it, but like with many Catherine Moon books, I just feel like it was overwritten and it could have been 100 to 150 pages shorter. And so I kind of want to try some other ones. So this is one of the first ones that I saw when I was looking for Omegaverse books that really caught my eye. It sounds really good. It's got pretty good ratings. It sounds really similar to like other Omegaverse books. Our heroine thinks she's a beta and that doesn't happen. And then she somehow like realizes that she's an Omega, and she gets shipped off to this Omega sanctuary, and she has to bond with her alpha before she goes into her first eat. It looks like there's also some danger lurking around the corners, people going after Omegas, and people disappearing. So it sounds like there's going to be some danger and intrigue and adventure with this series too. I really want to get to it because like I said, I'm very interested in trying out some more Omegaverse books. If you've read this, please let me know because I think I'm going to try to get to it soon. Something about it has me saying like, I want to pick this up really soon. So let me know if you've read this or if you've heard of it, or if you have any other Omegaverse recommendations for me, please, please, please let me know because I want to try something other than Catherine Moon. It's the only one I've tried. I know there's a bunch out there. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding them or finding ones that I'm interested in. So give me your recommendations. I really need them. Next, we have the first contemporary romance on this list, and this is Pageant by Lilith Vincent. And this is a Mafia Why Choose romance, and it sounds really good. It's got one of my favorite tropes, which I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but where the heroine is auctioned off, and she basically gets auctioned off to a guy that recognizes her and hates her, and he's one of the heroes, and there's 2 other heroes that buy her as well, and that is the like relationship. So I think it's 3 males and a female, and it's Mafia, so I'm guessing it's going to be a bit of like suspenseful adventure as well. Plus, like I said, my favorite tropes, I did a recommendation list recently for this trope, which was Captor Captive, which also includes like auctions, buying off, like that kind of thing. And so I think that this is right up my alley and I really want to read it. It sounds really good. This is also a standalone, and like I would assume most of the other books on this list, check trigger warnings, but especially for this one, Mafia romances tend to have like more triggers in them, especially ones that are captor captive. And so make sure you check trigger warnings before going into this book. So next we have a Monster Why Choose romance, and I discovered this one on Instagram. I remember before it first came out, the author was sharing stuff and hyping it up on Instagram, and I was like, that looks really, really good. And it's called Cruel Shadows, and it's by Harper A. Brooks. And the cover got me on this, like those giant hands. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is that? So this is a monster romance, like I said, and it looks like our main character like meets these monsters through like a shadow realm, which I have seen before, like monster romances. Sometimes it's more dystopian and sometimes it's like realms, like you cross into a different realm or a dream realm sometimes, and that's what this one looks like. It's like a shadow realm. It looks like there's some kind of shadow prince she's either trying to find or escape from or both. And there are some dark things at play, so I think that there's going to be a lot of adventure, intrigue, and like some suspense in this book too. So I'm looking forward to it. It is a series. I think the second book recently came out and the third book still has to come out. Okay, so the next one I have on my list is Insurrection by R.L. Calder and M. Sinclair. This cover looks amazing. I'm looking for more different kinds of paranormal romances. Like you get the vampires, you get the wolves, like the shifters, you get the witches, but I'm looking for some more interesting characters, okay? So this looks very demonic to me. I see wings. This girl on the cover looks like she is like kind of evil in some way, and that's what I want to try out. I want to try out some different paranormal monster-y kind of romances that really explore like where it could go in terms of the different species of monsters and paranormal creatures. So our main character in this book is the princess to the house of death. Her dad is the Grim Reaper. So she is sent by her dad to this like summit, and in the process she meets the prince from each of the other 5 houses of hell. And in this process, obviously they form like a bond and a relationship. So I'm thinking that it's gonna be her with the 5 princes of hell, 5 other princes of hell, because I think she's the princess of one of the other houses. So that means there's 6 houses. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I like this. I like that the world is like hell and that there are all these like demons and like princes of like, I don't know. It's unique. It's definitely unique. And that's what I'm looking for right now, especially like I want to try different things, and this sounds really, really cool and really good. It could be really good for like spooky season too. If you're like in a romance mood, but it's spooky season, this could be a good one to pick up, I'm guessing. We'll see if I can wait that long to read it, but it looks really good. Okay, so right here I have a book by Kate Corvin, who I read from recently, and I really liked her writing. And this is Kissed by Wildfire, and I think that this is a shifter or wolf type of romance. So our main character is a witch, and they are all at this like school. So it's a magical school, which is like, I love magical schools with romances. I think that her love interests are shifters. So witches and shifters, so a paranormal why choose romance. And it says that the school is like a haunted Gothic mansion. So this is giving me, again, like the other book, major fall vibes. Give me a Gothic mansion, Gothic vibes, like a magical school, and some paranormal creatures. Put them all together, and that sounds like a perfect fall read for me. This looks really good. I feel like I'm saying that for every book on this list, but it's true. I can't wait to read all of these. So obviously, otherwise, why would they be on my TBR? This one looks really good because, like I said, I love anything that says Gothic. If in the summary the word Gothic appears, it's like immediate TBR. Unless it's like a classic Gothic, because then I'm like, no. Okay, so here I have another sequel that I'm looking forward to read. This is the 3rd book in the Daughters of Cain series by Mary Mystery, Crowned by Blood. And this literally just came out like today or yesterday. And I'm like, give it to me. I have been waiting forever. I forgot to put it on my April TBR, but I do have a mood read on there. So like maybe I can put it in there. This is a really cool series. Our main character, basically, she's a vampire. She's one of the daughters of like the Lord of Vampires. She gets in trouble. It's a slap on the wrist, which is basically hundreds of years in a coffin. And so she is eventually let out of this coffin, as bonded by all these different characters. There's vampires and shifters, like wolf shifters. And in this book, they're called lichens. So this is kind of like, this gives me like inspired by underworld vibes. If this was like underworld and our main character is Kate Beckinsale, and that's the vibes I get from this book, but make it like a why choose. But anyway, so she is bonded to them like when she wakes up, and there is like an insurrection coming. There is like war, politics, there is like a revolution because her dad has kind of taken over the world of humans as well. And he is just kind of ruling with an iron fist, and it's not going well. So, this is the third book in the series. I cannot wait to see where the plot goes. I think there's going to be a lot of action. It's going to be action packed. It's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. And I cannot wait to see what happens in like the final battles. And it's going to be good. Yeah, I know it's going to be good. And the last sequel that I have on this list is Kiss of Smoke by Kate Corbin. I adored the first book in this series, and that was a 5-star book. And I think I immediately went to the sequel, and that was like 4 stars because I was expecting the romance and the steam level to get bumped up a bit in the second book, but it did not. In fact, I felt like it lowered. But I love the mystery. So this is like a paranormal fantasy mystery, and these are like, and our main character is like a sleuth. She's working together with these people to find out like what's going on. There's this big mystery in this world and this evil and this risk, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on. She's doing detective work basically. So it's kind of a detective novel mixed with a fantasy romance Why Choose novel, which is really cool, and that's why I really, really liked it. But I need something more. So I'm really hoping the third book has more steam in it because I just did not think that there was enough. I just didn't. So, but I also really like Kate Corbin's writing in it. So I don't know. I'm conflicted. We'll see. If the steam bumps up and it goes where I want it to go with the romance itself, then it'll probably get 5 stars because everything else, it has everything else going for it. The magic is really cool. Our main character is a dryad. She works with plants, so she can grow these like big trees, and she does some really cool stuff with her magic. And the other characters are really cool too. It's just a cool series. But I need some more steam. I need some more spice. Last but not least on this list is one of the most famous, I think, Why Choose books or Why Choose series. It's by Madison Kate. The first book is called Hate. I know my friend Kaylee from Kaylee's Books read this and really, really liked it. I think she binge read the whole series. And I hear that each book does end on a cliffhanger. And that's how Mary Mysteries books are too. They all end on cliffhangers. And I love that. This is another contemporary. And I think it's like maybe a motorcycle gang. And maybe they like run the town. And there's a school. And that's all I know. I don't really know anything about it other than, yeah, like motorcycle gang. It's a school setting, and that it's apparently really good, and it gets amazing ratings. Like it has a 4.27 on Goodreads with over 36,000 reviews. That's really good for a Why Choose. So I really, really want to pick this up. I was unsure for a while, but there's got to be a reason it has such amazing reviews. So I want to try it. I want to try it. I'm not usually into contemporary if it's not like Mafia or dark, but because it is a motorcycle romance and I think there's a lot of suspense elements, I'm assuming it's gonna get kind of dark, so I guess I'll have to find out. But yeah, I'm gonna try it out. Kaylee has great taste, and I want to find out if I like it too. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video of some of the books that are on my Why Choose TBR. There's obviously more books that I could have put on here because there's a lot of books that I want to read that are Why Choose. This is not all of them, but I didn't want to sit here babbling for like hours on end, obviously, so I had to limit myself, and I think 12 is a good number. But let me know what Why Choose is your favorite Why Choose romance. Which one of these books on this list should I prioritize? Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to head over to Victoria's channel to check out her TBR for Why Choose romances. All of my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.